Every hour, a small business in the UK closes its doors forever. Now, this is a huge problem because small businesses are the backbone of the UK economy. They account for 99.8% of the business population, employ 60% of the private sector workforce, and surprisingly, they contribute over half of the country's turnover. This brings us into a major dilemma. Why are small businesses in the UK having a hard time surviving, and what can be done about it? Well, let's find out. A recent survey of 1,000 small business owners in the UK revealed that 75% of them are finding it difficult just to survive. Worse still, the challenges are mounting. Rising costs, inflation, and economic uncertainty are pushing many small businesses to the brink. In fact, in 2023, while 292,000 new businesses were launched, 295,000 shut their doors during the same period. This delicate balance paints a troubling picture of the state of entrepreneurship in the UK. For every person taking the leap to start a new venture, there's another watching their dreams crumble under the weight of these pressures. Now, it is worthy of note that small businesses are more than just statistics. They represent the ambitions of individuals and families, often with deep ties to their communities. They're the local coffee shops, the family-run hardware stores, and the niche e-commerce ventures that provide unique products and services. When these businesses close, it's not just an economic loss, it's a loss of identity and vibrancy for communities across the UK, posing a serious challenge. To understand why small businesses in the UK are struggling today, it's important to look back at the challenges they've faced over the years. Historically, economic crises have always hit small businesses the hardest due to their limited resources and lower resilience compared to larger corporations. The 2008 financial crisis is a great example. During this period, credit markets froze, leaving many small businesses without access to essential funding. Banks tightened lending criteria, and small businesses, which were already operating on thin margins, found themselves unable to secure loans to sustain operations or grow. Needless to say, the result was that thousands of small businesses across the UK were forced to close their doors, and those that did survive were in huge debts. Fast forward to 2020, and the COVID-19 pandemic brought an entirely new set of challenges. Small businesses, particularly those in retail, hospitality, and tourism, were seriously affected by lockdowns and social distancing measures. In fact, a lot of them saw their revenue drop to zero overnight, while fixed costs like rent and utilities continued to pile up. Although government initiatives like the Coronavirus Job Retention Scheme and bounce back loans provided some relief, they were merely temporary fixes and didn't provide long-term solutions. Interestingly, as the economy began to recover post-pandemic, new challenges arose. Supply chain disruptions caused by global lockdowns and geopolitical conflicts like the Russia-Ukraine war led to shortages of essential goods and rising costs. Soon, small businesses that relied on imported materials found themselves unable to meet customer demand. Inflation and rising interest rates have only added to the pressure. With costs soaring for everything from raw materials to wages, many small businesses are struggling to stay profitable. The historical pattern is clear. Small businesses are particularly vulnerable to external shocks, and their survival often depends on swift and adequate support from both the government and financial institutions. It isn't really news that globalization has transformed the business landscape over the past few decades, bringing both opportunities and challenges for small businesses in the UK. While access to global markets has enabled many of these businesses to expand their reach, it has also exposed them to intense competition and new risks. One of the most significant challenges of globalization is competition from large multinational corporations. These giants benefit from economies of scale, allowing them to offer lower prices and invest heavily in marketing and technology. But for small businesses, this is often impossible, making them struggle to compete, particularly in industries like retail, where consumers prioritize convenience and cost. Global supply chains also present both opportunities and vulnerabilities. On the one hand, small businesses can source materials and products from a wide range of international suppliers, often at lower costs. On the other hand, they are more susceptible to disruptions in these supply chains. For example, the COVID-19 pandemic revealed how dependent many UK businesses were on suppliers from China and other parts of Asia. Delays in shipping and production left many of these businesses unable to meet demand, damaging their reputations and their bottom lines. Another aspect of globalization is the rise of e-commerce platforms like Amazon, which have dominated the market. While these platforms offer small businesses a way to reach international consumers, they also impose high fees and often compete directly with the very businesses they host. Additionally, the shift toward online shopping has made it essential for small businesses to invest in digital transformation, a costly and complex process that many struggle to afford. But globalization isn't all negative. It has also opened doors for SMEs that are innovative or operate in niche markets. A local artisan, for example, can now sell handmade products to customers all around the world through platforms like Etsy. Similarly, UK-based service providers can reach clients overseas thanks to advancements in technology and remote work. But speaking of challenges, small businesses have faced an unrelenting storm of challenges over the past few years. But the outbreak of the war in Ukraine seemed to be the straw that broke the camel's back. It shook global markets, causing inflation to reach its peak and remain above 10% in early 2023. Interestingly, this was 5 times the Bank of England's target rate. So to combat this, the bank has raised interest rates multiple times, further squeezing businesses already struggling with debt and cash flow issues. The truth is, for many small businesses, these high costs are not easily absorbed. For example, a local bakery may face higher energy bills for running ovens or increased costs for flour and other ingredients. Unfortunately, unlike larger companies, this small business may lack the economies of scale to negotiate better prices or the financial cushion to weather such spikes. In fact, the Federation of Small Businesses, or the FSB, reported that 92% of small businesses experienced higher costs in the first quarter of 2023, with 2 in 5 businesses reporting a drop in sales. And while it seemed good enough that 3 of 5 businesses did not experience a drop in sales, they still had some significant hurdles to overcome, including the risk of further interest rate hikes and sustained high costs. Meanwhile, geographic disparities remain a huge challenge. For example, businesses in some regions, particularly in parts of the North and Midlands, often face greater obstacles due to weaker local economies, limited access to funding, and fewer growth opportunities. This uneven landscape means that even in times of overall growth, some areas and sectors remain vulnerable. Unfortunately, these challenges are not confined to the businesses, but spread to the owners' personal lives, leading to health problems. According to a recent study by Mental Health UK and small business lender Iowa, 4 in 5 small business owners experience symptoms of poor mental health, with issues like anxiety, panic attacks, and depression becoming more frequent since the pandemic. The study further revealed a gender disparity where 86% of female business owners reported struggling with mental health compared to 77% of their male counterparts. Despite the prevalence of these issues, 44% of small business owners have never sought mental health support. This reluctance often stems from the belief that addressing mental health might seem like a luxury when there are pressing business concerns. But ignoring mental health often leads to burnout, reduced productivity, and even physical health complications. Interestingly, the unpredictable and competitive nature of today's market only amplifies these challenges. Many entrepreneurs feel an overwhelming sense of responsibility, not only for their businesses, but also for their employees' livelihoods. This added emotional burden worsens stress levels and creates an environment of chronic anxiety, which impacts both the individual and the overall business culture. The result is that on average, 20% of small businesses in the UK fail within their first year. Unfortunately, the numbers don't improve much with time, as less than half of small businesses survive beyond 5 years. For many, the problem lies not just in external factors like inflation or interest rates, but in a lack of preparedness. Truth is, starting a business requires more than just a great product or service. It demands a clear strategy, sound decision-making, and the ability to adapt to changing circumstances. One major issue is the difficulty in accessing capital. Unlike larger companies with established credit histories, small businesses often struggle to secure loans or investments. This lack of funding no doubt makes it nearly impossible to invest in growth, hire staff, or even cover basic operational costs. Another huge challenge is the steep learning curve for first-time entrepreneurs. Many small business owners pursue their new ventures solely out of passion. While that's good enough, the lack of experience in areas like financial management, marketing, and customer relations often leads to costly mistakes that ultimately sink the business. But how can this be prevented? Well, it is often said that good decision making is at the heart of every successful business. This involves balancing risks, conducting thorough research, and staying calm under pressure. And for small businesses, where resources are often limited, every decision carries weight. Consider, for example, the decision to expand. It is true that hiring more staff or investing in new equipment can be a beneficial way to grow a business, but that also comes with risks. When you hire new people, you'd have to train them, which takes time and money. More so, the benefits are not immediate. So if the market shifts unexpectedly, the added costs can become a burden. Forecasting is one of the critical skills needed in making good decisions. This is because it can help businesses anticipate challenges and plan accordingly. By doing so, small business owners can make more informed decisions about when to invest, when to hold back, and so on. Another crucial aspect of decision making is resilience. Small business owners often face setbacks, whether it's a delayed shipment, an unexpected expense, or a drop in sales. Being able to navigate these challenges without losing focus or confidence is a skill that sets successful entrepreneurs apart. Remarkably, marketing is another area where small businesses often struggle. In today's digital age, having a strong online presence is no longer optional. It's essential. Yet many small business owners underestimate the importance of a well-thought-out marketing strategy. At its core, marketing is about connecting with customers. It's not enough to have a great product or service, people need to know about it and trust it. This requires a multifaceted approach that includes search engine optimization, social media engagement, and effective branding. For example, optimizing a website for search engines can help drive traffic, but that's just the first step. Once people visit the website, they need to feel confident in the product and the company behind it. And while it's true that building trust takes time and effort, it's crucial for turning visitors into loyal customers. Social media is another powerful tool for small businesses, allowing them to reach a wider audience and build relationships with their customers. But like search engine optimization, it requires a strategic approach. Simply posting occasionally or using generic content won't yield results. So, if you're a business owner, you have a responsibility to understand your audience and tailor your marketing content accordingly. In the end, marketing doesn't end with customer acquisition. It's an ongoing process. And by tracking metrics like website traffic, conversion rates, and customer acquisition costs, businesses can identify what's working and adjust their strategies to maximize impact. While the challenges facing small businesses are significant, they are not insurmountable. Success often comes down to resilience and adaptability. The most successful entrepreneurs are those who can weather tough times by staying focused on their goals and adjusting their strategies as needed. This means taking a long-term view rather than focusing solely on short-term gains. Truth is, building a sustainable business requires consistency, patience, and a commitment to delivering value to customers. By prioritizing these principles, small businesses would not only survive but also thrive in even the most challenging environments. Also, there's a need for entrepreneurs to embrace lifelong learning. Whether it's improving their financial literacy, mastering new marketing tools, or staying updated on industry trends, continuous learning can provide the skills needed to stay competitive. Even though resilience and adaptability are essential for small business survival, external support also plays a critical role. This is because government policies and initiatives can either alleviate or exacerbate the challenges businesses face. In recent years, the UK government has introduced measures like tax reliefs, grants, and loan programs aimed at supporting small businesses. For instance, the Bounce Back Loan Scheme and the Coronavirus Job Retention Scheme provided temporary relief during the pandemic. Yet, as these programs phase out, many small business owners are left wondering what long-term support will look like. A lot of people argue that more targeted interventions are needed to address specific issues like high energy costs and limited access to finance. So the government could look into simplifying the process for applying for grants and loans, as well as offering tax incentives for innovation. Essentially, small businesses are a vital part of the UK economy, but they face a tough road ahead. Rising costs, economic uncertainty, and a lack of resources are putting immense pressure on owners and entrepreneurs. Yet, with the right strategies like strong decision-making, effective marketing, and a focus on resilience, there is hope for a brighter future. But we'd also like to know what you think in the comments section below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, do like and subscribe because it greatly helps the channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.